This is the second of 3 tutorials on Livewire's policies, benefits, and expectations. In this tutorial, you'll learn about Livewire's policies and benefits. We'll start by looking at Livewire's policies. These are general company policies Livewire adheres to. Don't worry, I know it looks like a lot, but most of these are common sense and policies you've seen before. Non-discrimination policy. Livewire does not discriminate in employment opportunities or practices based on race, color, religion, gender, national origin, age, or disability, marital status, military status, or any other category protected by federal, state, and local laws. It provides equal employment and advancement opportunities to all individuals by basing employment decisions on merit, qualifications, and abilities. Confidentiality agreement. All Livewire employees are required to sign a non-disclosure agreement as a condition of employment. This means that you will not disclose any confidential information to people who are not employed by Livewire. That includes all non-public information concerning the company, its vendors, and suppliers. Information like compensation data, financial information, marketing strategies, projects and proposals, production processes, personnel and payroll records, and even conversations need to be kept confidential. Be careful where you discuss Livewire information. Monitor visitors to Livewire and secure confidential information in desk drawers or cabinets at the end of the day. The protection of confidential business information and trade secrets is vital to the interests and success of Livewire. Conflict of interest. Livewire employees must avoid any situation in which loyalty may be divided, any situation, relationship, or interest that could conflict or appear to conflict with Livewire's best interest. Examples might be having a personal financial interest in a business transaction with Livewire, or owning or having a significant financial interest in a Livewire competitor, customer, or supplier. Also, accepting gifts, entertainment, or other benefits of more than a nominal value from a Livewire competitor, customer, or supplier would be a conflict of interest. If you find yourself in a situation that might be construed as a conflict of interest, please let Livewire management know right away. Employee records. An employee's personnel file consists of the employee's employment application, withholding forms, reference checks, emergency information, and any performance review, benefits data, or other employment-related document. It is your responsibility to let the payroll or human resources department know if you have any changes in pertinent information. Personnel records are considered company property and are not available for review by employees. Performance evaluations. Livewire encourages supervisors and employees to discuss job performance and goals informally at any time. Formal performance evaluations will be conducted biannually. These provide both the supervisors and employees the opportunity to discuss job tasks, identify and correct weaknesses, encourage and recognize strengths, and discuss positive, purposeful approaches for meeting goals. Outside employment. Because of Livewire's obligations to its customers, the company must be aware of any concurrent employment you may have to determine whether or not it presents a potential conflict. You must disclose any side work you do to the Livewire president. Side work is any work on a project that involves services Livewire offers. Outside employment also includes serving on any public or government boards or commissions, regardless of whether such services are compensated. Before beginning or continuing outside employment, employees are required to complete a questionnaire detailing the involvement with the other employer and to obtain the written approval of their manager. Employee referrals. To encourage and reward employees who refer qualified candidates for full-time positions, Livewire sponsors an employee referral incentive program. All full-time employees are eligible to participate. If Livewire hires a candidate that you referred within 90 days of the date you referred him or her, the company will give you $300, minus tax withholdings and deductions. Payment will be made about 180 days after the date the candidate was hired, provided both you and the candidate are active employees of Livewire at the time. Employment of relatives. Livewire may hire relatives of employees as long as there are no potential problems of supervision, safety, security, morale, or potential conflict of interest. Reference and background checks. Livewire may conduct reference and background checks on all new employees. Any employees who have falsified information will be disciplined, which could include termination. Progressive discipline. Progressive discipline is a system of discipline where the penalties increase upon repeat occurrences. Livewire may use oral and written warnings in progressive discipline up to and including termination that are appropriate under the circumstances. Having said that, Livewire also reserves the right to terminate any employee whose conduct merits immediate dismissal without resorting to any aspect of the progressive discipline process. Termination, resignation, and discharge. As mentioned before, employment with Livewire is on an at-will basis unless written in your contract, meaning that employees can be terminated with or without cause or notice, and employees are free to resign their employment at any time. If an employee resigns his or her employment, Livewire requests at least 2 weeks' notice. Failure to provide 2 weeks' notice may lead to forfeiture of accrued vacation and other benefits. Any employee who is discharged by Livewire shall be paid only wages accrued to the effective date of separation. Transfers and relocations. Livewire may occasionally need to transfer employees to a different department, shift, or location to meet business needs. Livewire will accommodate employee requests for transfers whenever possible. Travel and expenses. Employees will be per diem while traveling on Livewire business. That means that there is a daily allowance for expenses when traveling for work. When it is necessary to travel for Livewire business, please contact your supervisor immediately. They will be responsible for making your travel arrangements. You must record all travel and business activities on the company's expense report form and submit it to your immediate supervisor. All expense report forms should be submitted to your manager no later than 5 business days after the last day of the month. That covers a large majority of Livewire policies, but we do have a few more Livewire-specific policies to touch upon. This is a very important one, the Virginia Department of Criminal Justice System certification. You must pass the Virginia Department of Criminal Justice System certification to be employed. You must notify your supervisor immediately if a legal violation occurs while you are employed with Livewire. If you violate the eligibility standards for certification while you are employed by Livewire, you will be terminated. Livewire's work hours. Livewire's regular work hours are Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. A regular work week for full-time employees is considered 40 hours a week. In case of inclement weather or other emergencies, certain policies have been put in place. If you find yourself unable to make it to work on time because of bad weather or hazardous commuting conditions, you must let a manager know as soon as possible. We expect you to make every effort possible to report to work when it's safe to do so. If you're unable to make it in, your absence will be charged to vacation time, or it will be unpaid if you don't have vacation time accrued. It may become necessary to shut down the office because of bad weather or another emergency. In this case, every effort will be made to notify you. If there are questions as to whether the office will be open, call in. If there's no answer within 1 hour after the normal start time, assume that the office is closed. Safety. Livewire is committed to maintaining a safe and healthy environment for all employees. Report all accidents, injuries, potential safety hazards, safety suggestions, and health and safety related issues immediately to your manager. If another employee is injured and needs immediate medical attention, seek help from an outside emergency response agency and contact your supervisor or manager. You must complete an employee's claim for workers' compensation benefits form if you have an injury that requires medical attention. If the injury doesn't require medical attention, you still need to complete a notice of injury form in case you need medical treatment later and to ensure all safety hazards are corrected. Your manager has these forms. The Occupational Safety and Health Act, or OSHA, requires that we keep records of all illnesses and accidents that occur on the job. OSHA also provides for your right to know about health hazards which might be present on the job. The State Workers' Compensation Act also requires that you report any illness or injury caused by the workplace, no matter how slight. If you don't report an injury, you may jeopardize your right to collect workers' compensation payments as well as health benefits. Again, your manager has all the paperwork you need. Fire safety. Every employee is responsible for recognizing potential fire dangers and taking an active role in preventing fires. Employees are required to observe all OSHA safety requirements and regulations. Flammable materials are to be stored in covered metal containers. Employees should never block a fire door, fire exit, fire extinguisher, window, or doorway. And always review the fire escape routes posted in each work area. Security. Livewire is committed to ensuring employees' security and asset protection. Our premises are equipped with video surveillance, security alarms, and a fire alarm system. Unauthorized changes to any of these systems may result in disciplinary action, including termination. If you have a security concern or need more information about these systems, contact your manager. Now let's look at employee communications. Grievances. Employees are encouraged to bring concerns, problems, and grievances to Livewire management's attention. You're also obligated to report any wrongdoing of which you become aware to your manager or, if the situation warrants it, any Livewire manager. Job postings and promotions. Livewire has a job posting program to inform employees of all available staff positions. Livewire will fill job vacancies whenever possible by promoting qualified employees from within the company. In order to apply for a posted position, you must have completed the introductory or probationary period at a satisfactory performance level, meet the minimum requirements for the position, and have not received any written corrections within the past 90 days. If you would like to apply for a posted position, let your manager know and submit a memo with an updated resume to the hiring manager. Candidates will be judged on individual performance, conduct, experience, and potential. The length of service to Livewire, while also considered, will not be the sole determining factor in selecting candidates for promotion. Of course, Livewire has the discretion to fill job vacancies from outside if we consider that the circumstances call for outside recruitment. Communication with press or media. A media inquiry regarding a specific transaction should be referred to the individual or individuals in charge of the matter. If they are not available or for any other media inquiry, refer them to the Livewire president. This policy covers all forms of responses to the media, including off-the-record and anonymous statements. Workplace solicitations. In order to promote a professional workplace with few disruptions in business, Livewire has adopted a rule about soliciting for any cause and distributing literature of any kind in the workplace. Employees may not solicit on Livewire property or use company facilities, including email, voicemail, or bulletin boards, for solicitation. This policy applies to collecting funds, requesting contributions, selling merchandise, gathering employee signatures, and promoting memberships in clubs or organizations. Working time means time during which employees are expected to be actively engaged in their assigned work. However, you may solicit another employee if both you and the other employee are not on working time, like a meal or a break period, and you may distribute literature in non-working areas if both you and the other employee are not on working time. Non-employees may not make solicitations or distribute literature at any time. Livewire may grant limited exemptions from these rules for charitable purposes. Wages and salaries. Of course, certain deductions from your paycheck will be made in accordance with federal and state laws. If you elect supplemental coverage under one of the company's benefits plans which require employee contributions, your portion of the cost will be deducted from your check each pay period. If you elected that supplemental coverage and are not receiving a payroll check due to illness, injury, or leave of absence, you would pay the monthly cost directly to the company. Remember, compensation agreements are kept confidential and are not to be discussed among employees. Performance reviews and salary increases. Wage reviews are conducted annually for each employee. Salary increases are based on the review as well as the company's profitability. However, an employee receiving a performance review will not necessarily receive a salary increase. Bonus compensation. You may be eligible for a periodic bonus. This bonus is optional and completely at the discretion of Livewire management. It will depend on the company's profitability and the individual's performance and contributions. Overtime. Because of the nature of work, employees may be asked to work overtime on weekends or holidays or additional hours during the workday and are expected to comply with such requests. As mentioned earlier, overtime compensation is paid to all non-exempt employees at 1.5 times their hourly rate for all hours worked in excess of 40 hours per week. If you are non-exempt, you must receive authorization from your manager before working overtime. Overtime must be entered on a timesheet no later than the end of the business day after it was accrued. Remember, overtime is based on actual working hours, not time taken for breaks, lunch, or dinner. Also, holidays, sick leave, vacation leave, personal leave, training seminars, or any leave of absence will not be factored in as hours worked when calculating overtime. The pay schedule. Employees are paid every other Friday. If a regular payday falls on a holiday, payday will be the last regular workday before the holiday. The pay period is Sunday through Saturday. A new employee's first week wages will be paid on the next pay period. Vacation pay, provided the vacation is for 5 consecutive days, may be received the last payday before the vacation. To be paid in advance, you must notify your supervisor 1 week before your vacation begins so that a check can be prepared. If a paycheck is ever lost or stolen, make sure you notify your manager immediately. That covers Livewire's policies, so now let's look at benefits. Livewire employees are entitled to a wide range of benefits. Livewire covers Social Security, workers' compensation, state disability, and unemployment insurance for all employees as required by law. Eligibility for most other benefits depends on a variety of factors, including employee classification. Your supervisor and the Human Resources Department can identify the programs for which you are eligible and give you more information. Remember, some benefit programs require contributions from employees, but others are fully paid for by Livewire. Medical insurance. Livewire offers coverage after 90 days of employment. Livewire will pay 50% of the employee-only coverage. You can get more information from the Human Resources Department and from the printed material from the insurance company. COBRA. If you are terminated for any reason other than gross misconduct or otherwise leave Livewire and you have been continuously covered by the company's group insurance plan before that, you and your dependents may have the right to convert coverage. You should receive written notification of your right to continue coverage within 2 weeks of your last day on the job. Disability insurance. Employees who have completed the introductory or probationary period may qualify for disability insurance coverage, which will be paid for in full by Livewire. Make sure you see the specific plan documents or contact Human Resources for further explanations of this benefit and its tax implications. Paid time off includes vacation, sick days, and bereavement. Active full-time employees are eligible for paid time off. Paid time off must be earned before it can be taken. You cannot substitute pay for unused paid time off unless your supervisor has given you written approval. For vacation requests, Livewire reserves the right to not approve a vacation request if it interferes with company operations or adversely affects coverage of job and staff requirements. Whenever possible, Livewire will accommodate an employee's request for vacation. However, when a scheduling conflict arises, seniority will prevail. The number of days a full-time employee is eligible for is determined by the number of years he or she has been an employee with Livewire. Here is a chart showing that information. The paid time off calendar year runs from September 1st until August 31st. Up to 10 days or 80 hours of accrued but unused paid time off may be carried over from one year to the next. Any time over 80 hours will be forfeited by the employee on August 31st of each year. This is a use it or lose it policy. You are not allowed to take any paid time off during the first 6 months of employment without prior approval from your supervisor. Remember, vacation time must be scheduled in advance and agreed on by the supervisor. To be eligible for a sick day, you must call in to your supervisor no later than 15 minutes after your usual start time for work. If you do not call in, your absence will be considered unexcused and you will not be paid for it. Paid holidays. All full-time employees are eligible for paid holidays. The paid holidays are New Year's Day, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, Thanksgiving Day, and Christmas Day. If a holiday falls on a Saturday, the day off will be on the Friday before. If a holiday falls on a Sunday, the day off will be on the following Monday. All full-time employees, regardless if they are still in their 90-day probationary period or not, are eligible for paid holidays. Jury duty. Livewire supports employees in fulfilling their civic responsibilities by serving jury duty when required and will fully compensate them for up to 1 day of time they are required to serve. However, you must inform your supervisor as soon as possible after receiving a jury summons so that arrangements can be made to accommodate your absence. You will be expected to report for work during jury service whenever the court schedule permits. Insurance benefits remain in effect and unchanged for the full term of your jury duty absence. Military leave. Livewire adheres by the Uniformed Services Employment and Reemployment Rights Act and does not discriminate against any persons because of their service in the Armed Forces, Army National Guard, or the Air Force National Guard when engaged in active duty requirements. The final benefit we will point out is Livewire's Employee Purchase Program. Livewire has dealer pricing established with multiple vendors. Employees are able to utilize this pricing and purchase product at cost plus 10%. If you would like to take advantage of this benefit, please contact your manager prior to making any purchases. That covers all of the policies and benefits. As I mentioned at the beginning, this is the second of 3 tutorials. We have covered how Livewire is organized and its policies and benefits. When this video ends, click the Next Page button and continue on to the test covering the material you just learned.